One of the things I think that people like yourself and my show and Mark Claire and some of these people that get thrown into these categories that some of it, excuse me, that some people throw us into, we are sometimes we're not throwing pipe bombs and grenades to disrupt some social scene or something like that, where we're not changing our principles or coming after libertarians for out of spite or any of these things. Oftentimes, I think, and Mark has said this many times, we're arguing against the us of 3 years ago, and I don't think that gets out there as much as it should. Can you talk about that and and kind of dispel these rumors that, oh, Pete's just changing his stripes again, or he's just mad at, he's trying to grow his numbers and diss on this group within the Libertarian Party? But can you talk to that and maybe that you're seeing some people make mistakes that you feel you've made in the past, and that's what you're arguing against?
Well, I think Mark Claire, in his episode where he addressed the whole Mises Caucus thing, did a really good job of pointing out that by alienating the Mises Caucus, you're not growing your numbers. You're actually losing downloads. And I told somebody today, I'm not going to say it publicly, but I told a friend today privately how many downloads I lost by doing this. And she freaked. I mean, she could not believe the number. But what's funny is I got them back. I got them back in the last 3 months. And if I told you the number and I told you how many I got back in the last 3 months, you'd freak out, because it's it's either people who left and are realizing that maybe you, myself, Mark Claire, others were right, and there are some things wrong with plans that other people are putting together, or I'm just getting new people who are more interested in moving beyond just the answer to everything is to give people economics in one lesson and ask them to read it. Now, changing stripes thing, yeah, I mean, that's probably the most common thing thrown at me. I've just become, over the last couple years, a voracious reader again. Somebody who is just reading, and a lot of it was audiobooks, but now I'm like going back to print. I mean, I just read a 600-page book cover to cover. I haven't read a 600-page book cover to cover in a very, very long time, but I wanted to read it. And what I'm finding is that once COVID started and I started questioning libertarian ideology, and I was like, and maybe these were wrong questions of me to ask, like, how come libertarian political theory has been around for 70 to 80 years and Austrian economics for well over 100, and everything there's no Whig theory of history. Nothing's getting better. Everything's getting worse. How come this hasn't influenced it? And how come whenever something bad happens, people don't go to the libertarians to ask for solutions, but actually start making fun of libertarians when things go bad? And I'm like, this is very interesting. So I started saying, well, maybe I should read books outside of libertarianism. So I started reading people who I knew used to be libertarians. And they're like, I'm not a libertarian anymore. So I start reading, Yarvin and others, and, the books that he recommends reading. And I start reading about political power and like the theory of political power, the history of political power. And then I start realizing there's something missing that I think only Hoppe includes in his works. And I think that's another reason why a lot of libertarians don't like Hoppe, is because he's dealing in reality, which is another bad word, because reality, if you don't know this, I'll let everyone know. When you use the word reality, what an anarchist, voluntarist hears is statism. Yeah, it's just statism, and that's their straw man, because it's like, well, I mean, how would this work? And if this works, how come it's not working in reality right now? Well, we haven't told enough people. I mean, which just basically brings it back to evangelicalism and, how how similar to Christianity libertarianism is, and just, but without the answer.